You know, we've all done it. Folded a piece of paper, given it a good throw, and just watched it fly. It feels so simple, right? Like just a kid's toy. But what if I told you that little paper plane is a total masterpiece of aerodynamic engineering? Yeah. So let's unfold the science behind this thing. Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? How can a simple piece of paper fly so darn well? I mean, it's got no engine, it's super fragile, so what gives? Well, it turns out it has a ton in common with a real jet, but it also has a secret trick up its sleeve that's totally unique. All right, to really get what makes a paper airplane tick, we gotta start with the basics. The principles that let anything fly, whether it's our little paper dart or a massive jumbo jet. Okay, so any flying thing is in a constant battle with these four forces. You've got gravity, obviously pulling it down. Fighting that is lift, pushing it up, and that comes from air moving over the wings. Then you have thrust, pushing it forward. For a big jet, that's the engines. For our paper plane, it's all in the throw. And pulling it backward is drag, air resistance. So flight is really just this delicate dance between all four.
So if both a real plane and a paper plane are dealing with the same forces, how do you steer them? Is it kind of the same idea? Let's find out. Well, any plane, big or small, moves in three main ways. First, you've got roll. That's when the wings tip from side to side. Then there's yaw, which is basically turning the nose left or right, kind of like steering a car. And finally, pitch. That's pointing the nose up to climb or down to dive. So to make the plane do all that rolling, yawing, and pitching, pilots, and yeah, you when you're folding a paper plane, use something called control surfaces. Let's check out what those are. And this is where it gets super cool. Look at this. On a real jet, you have all these complicated moving flaps. Ailerons for roll, elevators for pitch, a rudder for yaw. But on a paper plane, you get the exact same effect just by bending the paper. Seriously, if you bend the back edges of the wings up a little, you're controlling its pitch, just like an elevator does on a real airplane. So simple, but so effective. Okay, but wait a second. This is where it gets a little weird. A paper plane has no engine, right? All its thrust comes from that one single throw. And a lot of them, like that classic dart design, don't even have a separate tail. For a normal plane, the tail is absolutely essential for stability. So, how in the world does it stay so balanced? What is the secret here? Well, it turns out scientists were asking the same exact question, and what they found is pretty mind-blowing. It all comes down to a really unique aerodynamic trick that makes paper airplanes special. Okay, so here it is, the big reveal. Real airplanes have those curved wings, thicker in the front and curved on top. They're called airfoils. That shape keeps the main point of lift, what's called the center of pressure, in one pretty much fixed spot. But a paper plane's wing, it's just flat. And because of that, its center of pressure is anything but fixed. It actually moves around, shifting forward or backward based on how the plane is angled in the air. And that shifting, that's the whole secret. It's incredible. Just listen to what researcher Lee Fristroff says. It's this unique property of thin, flat wings. Basically, if the plane's nose goes up too high, the center of pressure scoots forward and pushes the nose back down. And if it starts to dive, the center of pressure slides back and lifts the nose right back up. It's a built-in self-correcting system. How genius is that? So now that we know the secret, how do we actually use it? I mean, this self-correcting thing is awesome, but there's a catch. It only works if one other key thing is in just the right spot. And that thing is its center of mass, or center of gravity. It's basically the plane's main balance point. For all that self-correcting magic to happen, the center of mass has to be in this sweet spot, right in front of where the center of pressure usually is. If you can get that balance right, you're gonna get a beautiful, long, stable glide. And the best part is, you can totally figure this out yourself, just by experimenting. If your plane just nosedives straight into the ground, the weight, the center of mass, is too far forward. If it just tumbles end over end, it's way too far back. And you know that wavy up and down thing it does sometimes? That's called porpoising, and it means the weight is just a little too far back. So you just add a paper clip to the nose, adjust a fold, and when it finally hits that perfect, long, smooth glide, boom, you found the sweet spot. So yeah, the next time you fold one of these, just take a second to appreciate what you're holding.
It's really not just a toy. It's this super sophisticated glider that actually uses a unique aerodynamic trick to stay stable, a trick that a 747 doesn't even use. Pretty cool, right?
It really makes you look at things differently, doesn't it? I mean, what other everyday objects are out there, just hiding some amazing, complex science right under our noses?